Hey everybody, Dorothy here. I wanted to give you a big shout out on the brouhaha that's going in the news today about inappropriate touching and those kinds of things. It's a big topic. You know, social norms are changing here in the US, and that's always a difficult time for people, even when we mean well. So I just wanted to give you, some quick tips on how to handle these kinds of things, and I'll show you where to get more. Hey, Joe Pat, thanks for joining. So social norms are changing. You know, women are stepping up and speaking up when before they didn't feel safe, or frankly, like we'd be heard. For most of us, regular people just living our busy lives, the boundaries that we have are out of awareness for us. We're just not consciously aware of them until somebody kind of blasts past one, and then we're like, oh, that doesn't work for me. And, we'll do the best we can in an awkward moment. So, my general view is that everybody would love to be able to handle those awkward moments in a really powerful way, so that people on both sides of that transaction or that moment can really be respected. And certainly it's my observation and my experience that people in every moment, you are making the best decision you can in that moment. And if you could see a better option in that moment, you would take it for sure. But, I'm just saying this is a bit of setup for giving one another a bit of grace, because we're just doing the best we can in life. And sometimes it works out well, and sometimes it's like something we got to clean up. So just take a breath and know that, this isn't anything that you can't. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining. You can definitely, learn from and be helping you. So now it's especially helpful for us as women to get to know our boundaries, because the social norms for such a long time have been that we weren't really in control of those things, that other people can kind of blast through them. And I know I've been guilty of blasting through other people's boundaries without asking, for example, in advance. And sometimes I just will, think or imagine that they feel the same way I do. What a silly thing. People have their own inner voice going around. So, some of us are more feeling and touching, and others aren't. A lot depends on the context of the situation for what's, appropriate or not. And, I've certainly been guilty of somebody else's space. It just wasn't okay, and I had to go and clean it up. And there are times when other people have just blasted past my invisible boundaries. I'll give you a ridiculous example here. The first time that I was ever about to walk on stage to a really big crowd on the stage, and the host of that wonderful event came in and is everybody excited and such? Well, I was not excited. I needed to get calm inside and get in my Zen zone. I did not appreciate the host coming in and saying that at all, but you know what? I just had to do my best in the moment and to calm myself down anyway, because we were about to go out on stage. So here's a simple guideline for you to be able to use, and I'll put this in the notes afterwards, that you can use. One is, know that in the United States, where I've lived most of my life, and most of the people that I am connected with here on Facebook are living now. We live in an arm's length social culture. That means that a normal, comfortable feeling is about 3 feet apart. The length of your arm plus just a little bit, and when we respect that 3-foot rule, it's how we show somebody else that we're respecting their body autonomy, and it's how when other people give us that space, we know that our body autonomy has been respected. And I've been as guilty as anybody else for kind of blasting past that from time to time. So, forgive yourself, clean it up, and move on. But here's the guideline. Want to get closer than that 3-foot thing, like a hug or something that way? Touch them on the shoulder is usually okay if it's kind of an arm's length touch on the shoulder. But if you want to, just ask. And the simplest way to ask, if you want to hug somebody or touch them in a way that indicates your affection for them, your social affection for them, then you can just kind of spread your arms out and say, hugs. It's as simple as just that gesture and that one word. And what you're doing there is avoiding the presumption that they feel the same way you do. It could be miles apart. Something may have happened in their day that they are still trying to work through inside their head, and coming into their personal space could be something that is just like unexpected and like totally unwelcome for them. So I'd love your comments, and just if you want to get more of this kind of stuff, you can you can jump in I've got a Facebook group where we talk about these kinds of things, and that is the 13-second women's empowerment with me, Dorothy. So, and it is 13 seconds because empowerment happens in a moment. And when you treat somebody else from a place of power with a loving heart, so that you're clear and leave the other person and you respected on the other side of standing up for yourself, life gets better. So I'm really glad to bring you this. Put any comments you have or any stories. I would love to hear, what it is that your experience in handling a boundaries breach, elegantly, so that people feel respected and well held on the other side. Because after all, we're just all doing the best we can. And some days it's good and some days not so much. So bye for now, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. That's the 13-second women's empowerment, because empowerment happens in a moment. Bye for now.